everybody, this is a Post-Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head.
I am John Black.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about new Blu-ray and DVD releases, of which we have a number sitting on our respective tables. John's across the room.
Yes.
Has some home videos on his table.
Home videos, pictures of me growing up as a kid. That's the last thing people want to hear me talk about. Look, he was
Blu-rays
fat back then.
And then over here on the coffee table, I've got a few.
Well, even though you started out saying it was about new releases,
well, you know, John, really, you can talk about whatever you want. You know, I mean, I think when we were like, oh, let's do a program on just video releases, and it used to be like literally just whatever you really digged this week.
Right.
You know, if it was a movie you saw on TV. Tell people about it.
It was on the Lifetime channel. It made me feel all warm and fuzzy. Yes. Yeah. But you know, one of the great things about what we do for a career,
a living.
Let's call it. It's not really a living, Steve. Come on, we don't make any money.
I live.
Yes. All right. So this is what we do. But one of the things I like about it is that when you discover something, like I watched a documentary about Jean Harlow, and then I watched a bunch of Jean Harlow movies. So it was that kind of adventure. Uh-huh. So I watched Machete Maidens Unleashed. Have you seen this documentary?
What the fuck is that?
It's a documentary about, there was a time in the, let's say, the 60s and 70s where...
What does it have to do with Jean Harlow?
And it doesn't. That was an example of something that's happened before. Right. This is a new one. Machete Maidens Unleashed. It's a documentary about guys like Roger Corman who went to the Philippines in the 60s and 70s because they could get really cheap deals to make
like
movies.
What Cannon did in the 80s.
Right, right. So they went
like
over there.
Like a cheap-ass Chuck Norris movie.
Right. Well, this is where you get movies like The Birdcage, The Big Dollhouse, Black Mama, White Mama, Pam Grier movies, exploitation, kung fu movies. They would just go over there, and the Marcos regime loved having these people around, and they would, they'd be like, "Oh, do you need an army for your scene? You can use our army." And they have scenes where in this documentary where this is where they shot Apocalypse Now, and so, Francis Ford Coppola's in the documentary bitching because the army they had given him for a scene had to be called away to quell a riot someplace else. So he was losing time on his film because the army, which was the actual army of the Philippines, had to go fight a real battle. But anyway, watching this documentary, and I watched it on Netflix. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, inspired me, and now I am the proud owner of the triple box set of The Birdcage, The Big Dollhouse, and some other Pam Anderson movie. Not Pam Anderson, Pam Grier movie. Got my
I immediately think Pamela Sue Anderson. I don't know.
Boy,
fucking Dallas. What was she in?
I don't know, but that's so that's so unmanly. I'm talking Pam Grier, Pam Anderson, and you come up with Pamela Sue Anderson?
It's late 70s.
Wow, the testosterone
Lonnie
level in this
Anderson,
room
that's
just
who
dropped.
I was thinking of.
Yeah, you're always
WKRP.
In Cincinnati.
Were you the one who told me that WKRP couldn't really put its episodes on video because it didn't have the rights to the music?
They put season 1 out, but none of the music is there. So when Johnny Fever plays an album, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to land this new one from Steely Dan," and then something else plays because they don't have the Steely Dan copyright. So
wonderful.
Anyway, I just thought it's a chance for people to explore once again the wonderful world of Pam Grier. Sid Haig's in a lot of these movies, who was in The Devil's Rejects and The House of a Thousand Corpses and Creature.
Guy must be getting up there.
Yeah, he's probably older than me. We won't go through the whole thing now that we know that
Kelly McGillis is
older than me, but only by 2 years.
I thought she was 60.
Yeah, people say that to me sometimes. So anyway, what have you got first on your list now that I've blabbered?
Well, I'm leaning forward like an old man.
Yeah, you sound like Kelly McGillis when you do that.
Well, I wanted to watch all of this. I got Dirty Girl.
Uh-huh. Can we talk about this? What's it rated?
It's rated R.
Okay.
I was only able to watch half of it. So
the dirty
that's
half?
not. I can't do a review. I have neglected my film watching duties due to life stuff. And so I didn't get to watching all of it, but it is out.
All right, that's next week. We can talk about it.
This week. I was looking forward to it,
Yeah.
Juno Temple, growing up in late 80s Oklahoma.
What was that Greg Kanaki? What's his name?
Kinnear.
No, Greg Araki?
I don't know.
He's a director. He did, whatever. He's a Canadian. That's probably why I can't remember it.
I'm seeing his name, but I'm
Greg Araki did a sci-fi movie with her that was pretty cool. But I can't remember the title, and I'm not going to look it up.
To be more completist, Good Morning Vietnam is now on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this the other day, and it was like I'd never seen it before. I mean, they say that about like Blu-rays, but I'm like thinking, like, did I ever actually see this movie?
You must have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like at the time this was made, Robin Williams still had a certain amount of novelty.
Mm-hmm.
There was a certain, but as time goes by, it becomes annoying. His riffs, and maybe the humor gets a bit dated. I don't know, but like he's just like you can tell that they're so selling him as a movie star here. And as a nice guy in the leading man role, but in reality, it's kind of annoying, his riffs.
Right.
The movie's a great film, though, with the supporting roles, with Forrest Whitaker and J.T. Walsh and, who's the guy with Harry Met Sally? He was the boyfriend, Carrie Fisher. He was the third guy, the Daniel Stern, Billy
Bruno
Crystal.
Kirby.
Yes, as the guy who runs the radio station.
Who thinks he knows what funny is? I know what funny is.
It's a really good film. It's just that I'm kind of like Robin Williams got on my nerves a little bit.
It's Robin Williams getting on your nerves and telling jokes that were already 20 years old.
I just don't think Robin Williams can ever be real. I think he's so self-conscious and.
Did you see 1 Hour Photo?
I just don't feel like he can be real.
Did you see 1 Hour Photo?
This is the not Robin Williams movie?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's the one where, yeah. But
I'm
looking.
Or perhaps, what was the one he did with Al Pacino?
Insomnia?
Yeah.
No, he still does his riffing thing there. It's like he can't not stop himself.
He just doesn't, as much as he's probably obviously correctly cast for this film, and didn't even get like an Academy Award nomination or something.
I don't know.
He's just so out of it that it's just not even real. It's like, but maybe that's what a personality is. Maybe that's what this character was to the troops. I don't know. But when he was trying to be, down with the homies there, making friends with the kid that was in his English class,
right?
That he paid his way in, that he bribed his way into just because he wanted to get over on this one girl that he was. In these days, we would call it stalking,
but not in Vietnam. It was love.
In Vietnam, yeah. I'm stammering because I'm not 100% sold on Robin Williams, but damn, it is a good
Barry
movie,
Levinson,
man.
right?
Barry Levinson, very talented.
He used to make good movies.
Used to.
Yeah.
That's the key phrase there. What has he done lately? I don't know.
He never calls. He never writes. I don't understand.
John, what do you got?
Now here I'm going off the beaten path again, which is where I belong.
Beat that path.
Because I'm going to recommend a foreign movie, subtitles and all. It's this movie called I'm Glad My Mother Is Alive by Claude and Nathan Miller. It's a story about a kid who, when he was younger, he was like 10, his brother was 6, whatever. His mom gave him up for adoption because she couldn't take care of him. They get adopted by perfectly nice people. They have a perfectly nice life. But this kid never forgets that his mom abandoned him, and he really loves his mother. Well, he's a grown-up now. He's like 18, 19, and he finds where his mother lives. And he starts this crazy psycho weaving his way into her life kind of thing. And there's this weird tension in the movie that you think he's going to sleep with his mom. And it's not what happens. What happens is far more shocking. And I was watching it, and the little critic's voice in my head was like, "Oh, please don't sleep with your mom. Don't sleep with her." And then I was like, "Oh, fuck. good. Well done. Well done, sir. I did not see that coming.
Off the deep end.
Yeah, really off the deep
end.
And it's based on a true story, which is
sickening. And there's the plot point that got the financing for the film.
Probably, yeah. But so worth it. So interesting. Really.
What's it called
twisted.
again? And
I'm Glad My Mother Is Alive. It's on. It's from Strand Releasing.
No, I mean like where in this big blue marble?
Oh, in France, someplace in France, outside of Paris, I think. Yeah, I would definitely check it out. It's a.
You're searching. John's reading the back of the.
Yeah, it's a head fucker.
Nice. That should be on the poster.
Yeah, of every movie.
Man, I saw Sid and Nancy on Blu-ray, and there's another one that just fucking blew me away. You know, because you're watching Gary Oldman as Sid Vicious, and I was thinking this while you were talking in the prior episode when you were talking about Meryl Streep playing Margaret Thatcher.
Right.
I mean, you can't help but think that it's Meryl Streep in this. But here it's like, I don't think like, I know, it's you're watching Sid Vicious.
Right.
It's that strange. It's that, he's just so fucking good. You know? Like, Gary Oldman was born to do that. I mean, maybe, you know, since they were both from the same part of London, I don't know. But what a character piece. I mean, the man should have been nominated for something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what kind of recognition he got for this, but his casting in this was like, wow, man.
Who directed it?
That's Alex Cox. Repo Man.
Yep. Yeah.
He was like the perfect director for this movie because he was so into that scene and, you know, kind of like he's, you know, if the Sex Pistols had the ability to be a movie director, it would have been channeled into Alex Cox.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's like crazy but crazy smart, and just like insanely desirous to, you know, say stuff with his film, and then just so smart about what to do with film. And the performances on screen here are just like, you know, insane.
Yeah.
You know, just like insanely good. You know, Chloe Webb, who plays Nancy, is like, I don't know what else she's done, but it would be hard for me to separate this from anything else, you know?
Who plays Johnny Rotten? Because I remember he was really good, too.
Oh, God, I don't recall.
He just captures that attitude and, you know, just perfectly.
You know,
he does a great job of setting the scene, too, of those times.
Yeah, both in London and New York. Really well. And it actually, since it was, I think it was, 85, 84, 85. And it's only a few years removed from the actual, you know, events.
Yeah.
You know, I think he, God, I forget how did he died of withdrawal, I think, in 79. And then it was Nancy who died a month prior to him. And he was just so coked up or heroined up that I just don't think that, you know, he couldn't recall any of what happened, you know, as far as her tragic end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he died of withdrawal. He tried to clean himself up. And there's a couple of featurettes on the disc. Kurt Loder and some of the other guys who saw Sid, you know, in the New York club scene around that time, you know, and trying to clean himself up, and you know, they talk about that, but obviously he just couldn't, you know. It's rock and roll destruction.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
You know what was surprising though was the appearance of Xander Berkeley as
who?
Xander Berkeley. You'd recognize him as like a bad guy from what was that Jackie Chan Owen Wilson movie?
High Noon.
High Noon. Yeah, he was in the first season of 24. He was in Terminator 2.
Xander.
John, you'd recognize him.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, he's Sid's heroin connection in the film. The guy is like one of these actors that's just been like around forever, but has never really had success. And it was just surprising to see him there. Terrific film. Visually, it's photographed by Roger Deakins, who is the Coen brothers cinematographer.
Mm-hmm.
looks great on Blu-ray. I highly recommend it. I'm inspired to watch it again.
Well, let's just hit pause and watch it. We'll come back. We'll be back in 2 hours.
Hey, John. Let me take this opportunity, okay?
Uh-oh.
People have listened. What, we've been doing this for
decades.
No, like more than 2 years now. Like just a little over 2 years. And at the beginning of just about every episode, I play a snippet of a song that this Boston band gave me that they've allowed me to use for the podcast. And I've been looking for a way to like just, work the whole song into an episode.
Right.
I was like, I can't start the episode with the whole song. But I was like, someone's going to work it into the episode so people can hear the whole song. So what say we do that? I'm just fucking play the song.
Okay.
Here it is. Here it is. John's like, okay, Steve.
I don't care.
Give it a shot. Right?
Sure.
All right. This is Never Gonna Shake It by Stereo So Future. Is this a semi-grunge thing, your kind of thing, or you're more? Is it more?
I'm old. I'm not into the semi-grunge thing.
Oh, John.
What? Soundgarden and all that crap? Ugh.
Oh, really?
It went by me. Nirvana, Soulgarden, Alice in Chains, all that crap went right by me. Couldn't care. Couldn't care less.
Did you get the oscilloscope release, The Other F Word?
Yeah.
I watched it last night.
And?
Digged it.
I just got
There's
it
only
yesterday.
one thing that's more important than punk attitude.
Dad attitude.
Yeah. Family beats punk in any card game.
Okay.
That's the message.
I guess I'll watch it.
I did.
Are we back?
I did it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at a later time.
And we're back.
We'll talk about it after you've watched it.
That would be good.
Okay.
That would be good.
John, go for it. What do you got?
I saw this movie called Catch 44.
What is the...
It's Forrest Whitaker, Bruce Willis, and Malin Akerman from Watchmen.
Yep.
It's an odd little movie. It's a crime caper thing.
Why call it Catch 44?
There's a
I mean, I know that's the... Yeah,
it's
but...
Catch period 44, like 44 caliber.
Oh, all right.
You know, they're clever. It's three chicks who they were involved in a drug deal that went bad, so they have to go and do another drug deal to pay back the man who is Bruce Willis, and that goes horribly wrong.
He's really whoring himself out.
Well,
I mean, not that he has been doing this for like 5 years now.
No, and he gleefully whores himself out in this one. He's just this wacky, drug dealer guy who loves pecans.
If you get to a point as Bruce Willis where you can just make money off of what you've already done,
yeah.
If you're in that kind of, he's not in the same like self-parody mode as like Bill Murray. Like
Bill Murray self-parody? What do you mean?
He's able to angle his pre-existing image, that's been built over a couple of decades, into something like all he has to do is just like appear on screen and you know what I've been through, and it's funny. And Bruce Willis I
don't think Bill Murray's like that at all.
I think he is.
I know.
I think he is. I think he always brings the Bill Murray baggage, and he makes it funny.
He brings it, or we bring it.
People do.
What?
People do.
Yeah,
we do. But with Bruce, it's like, the first moment you see him, it's a laugh. You know, and then,
yeah,
okay, go for it, Bruce.
And that's actually he does it gleefully in this movie. It's one of the things I liked about it. Forrest Whitaker is annoying when he tries to do it. Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of a Tarantino-esque, if that's a word, crime movie.
Tarantinesque. Yeah,
they play with the timeline and all that stuff. But a decent little crime thriller. Me likey.
Velvet Goldmine is now out on Blu-ray and looking fantastic. Todd Hayden's film from 1998. Very good performances. Ewan McGregor and Christian Bale and Jonathan. You were telling me about Jonathan Rhys Meyers, and he is actually a fucking talent. That guy is really good. He just hasn't had the career that the other guys have had, but wow. He is great in Velvet Goldmine.
Do you watch The Tudors?
No. But I know you're into that.
Yep. Anyway, Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
Pickle Shot? This is one of his Pickle Shot movies.
Okay.
You see Ewan McGregor's penis. His career is the movies he shows his penis and the movies he doesn't. Pretty much, that's how I divide his career.
Okay.
Train Spotting, yes.
I didn't see it
Velvet Goldmine, yes.
Why do I just
Star
all of a
Wars
sudden
movies, not
feel
so
like
much.
really uncomfortable?
Because I'm Ewan McGregoring you right now. You just can't see it.
So you're looking at the McGregor filmography?
Yes, I'm looking up pictures of Ewan McGregor's junk on YouTube.
Velvet Goldmine is out, but the movie I really wanted to talk about is Paranormal Activity 3 has come out, and it impressed me again. And mainly it's because, like, the girl who plays young Katie in this movie, the family that's haunted in this film has 2 young daughters, and it takes place in the 80s. But the girl who plays the older girl, she's like 11 or 12, her performance is amazing. Her name is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Chloe Tashangari.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
I don't know. But her performance is terrific. I mean, this little girl being freaked out by the hauntings in the film, I mean, she's a great little actor. Again, I was kind of just like taken by the way this girl responds to like being scared in the film. And this is actually, I guess, an extended cut. So what the extended version of Paranormal Activity 3 has is some more stuff in the kid's bedroom where the younger girl, who I guess has a closer connection to the spirit that's haunting the house, his name is Toby, There's more like playful stuff that goes on at like 3 a.m. And there's a scene where she does it's like a trust fall, except it's a jump. She jumps from the there's like the stairs that go up to their sleeping area.
Right.
And she jumps off the banister, and the ghost apparently catches her. So you get like a few more minutes of extra.
Never got into the Paranormal Activity thing.
John, you got to give it a chance.
Nope.
Don't want to. If you like the Innkeepers, you'll dig it.
There's enough going on in my life. There's something about them
if you just surrender to it, you dig it.
I won't.
Because it's like it's like it's like a security cam kind of movie, but you really examine the frame.
Yeah.
For the
there's a shelf in my head that contains movies like Paranormal Activity, Brokeback Mountain, Precious. Never going to see him. Never going to see him.
But John, you might actually like it.
Maybe I might like Brokeback Mountain. Never going to see it. No desire.
Well, you know what? I'm actually kind of right with you there.
Precious? No desire to see Precious.
I've actually never seen Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. No desire.
Just
don't
not
care.
Interested.
You can tell me Anne Hathaway shows her tits. I don't care. I just don't want to.
Are there basically some movies that if you told people that you haven't seen, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a few of those.
Yeah, and
I don't think I've actually seen Reservoir Dogs all the way through.
I get more.
Does that make you think less of me as a film critic? Because it's like,
no.
Do you have a rule? Do people have a rule that I'm actually supposed to see that?
I get it with foreign movies a lot. Like when and I always run into this. It's like I'd never seen a Bergman movie, and everyone's like, rolling their eyes and down with thee, Satan. And I was like, okay, so I saw the one where he plays, Seventh Seal. I like that. And then I saw Wild Strawberry. It's like, that movie sucked. And Ty and Dan was just like, oh, well, watch it again.
Bergman works with a little bit of you need help. I mean, personally, like when you get to know where he's coming from, his philosophy about filmmaking. Criterion put out a movie in 2006 called Bergman's Island, where they did some interviews with him on the island Faro in Sweden, where he used to live. This was just a couple of years before he died. And it's one of those things where, like, when you get into the philosophy of the filmmaker and what he's trying to do, that it makes movies that otherwise uninteresting interesting. Like this week I saw The Music Room, Satyajit Ray's film.
Oh, I like that movie.
Yes, it became something actually really profound towards the end. I initially was not interested, but I thought, I'll give it a chance. You get into towards the second half of that movie when they get into the dancing part in the music room, and you're like, holy shit, this is some crazy, this is wild.
Yeah.
This is really neat. The supplemental material on the disc actually kind of like, was more of an introduction for me, but it makes you want to watch the stuff.
Literature.
And George Lucas knows that. George Lucas knows how to make a documentary that makes you want to watch his movie. I'm kind of sick of that, though. It's just like, the happiness selling of a featurette. Our movie is so awesome. I mean, I love the featurettes and the documentaries that admit that a movie is fucked up and wrong and they screwed it up, and they just admit it. And then the product that they made is still entertaining,
Well, it's kind of like classic literature. There are books, you're supposed to... They're classics for a reason, right? Like Moby Dick is a classic for a reason. That book's barely readable. Vanity Fair. I hated Vanity Fair. But then I read Madame Bovary, and it was an awesome book. Yeah. So it's like movies. They were established classics. Like you've never seen Seven Seal or...
I'm reading Dracula right now.
That silly movie with the dead sisters? All right, fine. I don't need to see them all, but I have my own not see list, and those are the three that are on it now. There's others, too. I just won't go see.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is...
With Kirk Douglas and James Mason?
The book is Tomish and boring. Yeah. But there's enough coolness in there, I guess, to keep me going.
Most Jules Verne is kind of dull, But...
Man, I wish Disney would they were going to make. They're getting ready to make 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea again, but they
re-released the Kirk Douglas one. It's awesome. Speaking of books, total sidetrack. You know what I'm reading right now?
I have no idea.
Night of the Living Trekkies.
Really?
It's awesome. Yeah, zombies at a Star Trek convention in Houston. It's awesome.
Night of the Living Trekkies is a
book.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
How does that? Is that a statement about Star Trek fandom, I suppose?
Oh, it's a statement about a lot of things, I guess, but I just think it's a really good zombie book read.
They just started filming yesterday the sequel to Star Trek, Abrams' film.
With Benedict Cumberbatch as the bad guy.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek fan love and nostalgia all over again as the crew gets together yesterday for to try and make this next movie happen.
Well, it's not.
I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, cool that they're making it, but oh God, geek out,
Back to DVDs.
Yeah, what you got?
Have you ever seen a show on Fox called Archer?
Yeah.
You like it?
I have seen 2 episodes of it, and it is funny.
Yeah. They just had season 2 just came out on Blu-ray, and it's one of my favorite shows.
Really?
On TV. I like spy things anyway and spy spoofs, but the talent behind this show is pretty amazing. And the best part about the season 2 stuff, he's a super spy. He's off on missions, but he's a dick. He's an absolute dick. And
he's a prick.
Oh yeah. He's a dick and a prick. It's a good spy spoof movie. I don't want to go too many details, but the great thing about the Blu-ray is they have a scene from one of the Comic-Cons with the cast being interviewed, and so you get to see who these people are who do the voices. I always love that part. He's like, "Oh, you're really Archer."
Who's the guy who does Archer? He's a recognizable voice.
He's a recognizable voice.
He was in home movies.
But his name's H. John Benjamin. Yeah. Never would know. I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a movie, but he's got Archer's voice. Judy Greer, who you might know from various movies. Yeah. Chris Parnell's one of the voices. It's a hilarious adult animated series. Very adult. Very rude and funny. So
it's just on DVD.
Season
Blu-ray?
2 just came out on Blu-ray, yeah.
Oh.
And they have, for extras, they have a lot of mini Archer things that are like little mini animated movies that are pretty hilarious.
The first time I saw that was I got the season 1 of The League.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was The League.
Okay.
And as one of the extra features, they had a complete episode. They had episode 1 of Archer, a pilot episode. So that kind of
Jessica Walter is his mom. She was the mom on.
Jessica. What? No, you've got this look like you can't.
I can't think of the show. Arrested Development. She was the mom on Arrested Development.
Oh, okay.
She's Archer's mom. Right. I just couldn't think of the title. I had the DVD cover in my head, but I couldn't think of it.
I suppose she's back now since Netflix is reviving Arrested Development.
Netflix is?
Yeah. They're producing new shows.
For Netflix?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing now. The original content. Man, you know what we got to talk about?
No.
Real Steel.
And admit we both loved it?
Fucking loved it, man. Admittedly, the movie has 4 opening acts.
Yeah.
And it goes round and round.
It does feature my favorite boy toy, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And fighting robots. And it's schmaltzy.
Yeah. You know what I did? I watched all the extra features on it. How they did the mudslide scene at the robot junkyard.
Right.
How they the choreographing fight scenes with Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, it's good.
It is. It is. It's
fucking great on Blu-ray too. And I'm here. I go again. I'm like, why do I like this shit? I mean, like, it's like I'm feeling like something's wrong with me for liking this.
Yeah,
like, I'm
that's
not
the part I don't
like
get, Steve. Why don't you just let yourself like it? There's nothing wrong with liking a movie like this.
And
there's nothing wrong with hating a movie that is, artsy fartsy. Just go with it. It entertains you. That's all it has to do.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's like, oh, Steve, this is so fucking designed to be liked by, you know what I mean?
What's the problem with designing a product for people to like, Steve?
I understand, John. I understand it. But I sit there and I roll my eyes, I
don't understand that at all.
Because it's so cheeseball. Because it's so manipulative. I mean, all cinema is manipulation. Yeah. This is just like blatant turn on, switch the manipulate button on,
And it gives you that gentle. It's like magic fingers in your hotel bed, Ooh. ooh, this is wrong, but I like it.
I liked, what I didn't know about this movie that I learned from the featurettes was the fact that Stan Winston's company actually built the robots for this. Mm-hmm. Spielberg was like, Spielberg, who's also in some of the featurettes, because I guess he's the producer, obviously. He said, you can't do all of this digitally. People, just like in Jurassic Park, people had to know that this fucking dinosaur existed. You have to be able to walk up and touch it. So each of the main robots in this film was actually built to specifications.
Right.
Like they could actually act with it. And then the sculptors and the digital animators and stuff like that used the life-size robots that they built as references. Mm-hmm. So it really lent this corporeality to the robots that perhaps if they were entirely CGI, wouldn't have been there.
Right.
There is something spatial about that. And by spatial, I mean not just special, but interrelatively between the actors and the robot. There is something spatial going on.
Right. There's a subtle difference between an actor who's looking at an actual robot and an actor who's looking at a tennis ball. Yeah. And then, we'll put the robot in later, but you look up this way. It never works.
We're going to get. This is going to be. Real Steel 2, Real Steel 3.
Cool.
It was a success for DreamWorks. We're going.
For me, this movie was everything that the Transformers movies were not.
Yeah.
And the thing is, these robots, even though they're big, it sounds weird, but a human scale. They fill the whole frame. It's not like
they are cool.
Megatron or whatever, where they're just so big they overwhelm us. These are just bigger than us.
Also, I've talked about him before, Garrett Warren, the stunt coordinator. He's heavily featured in the making of stuff. Uh-huh. So if you go back and listen to our Mars Needs Moms episode, and I think our original review of Real Steel, you hear us talk about the backstory on Garrett Warren. And here you get him working with Sugar Ray Leonard and, setting up, choreographing the fight and the stunt scenes. And it's some well-produced featurettes for the disc. So...
I haven't had a chance to crack mine open yet. It just arrived, so
I'm going to watch it again.
Good.
I shall. Are we good?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm actually looking forward to movies this week. We got Haywire coming up. What else is coming up?
Incredibly Close and Awfully Loud or whatever.
Wait a second. Now I take it back. No, I'm not looking forward to movies this week.
Yeah.
I think it's just Haywire, the Soderbergh film, and Gina Carano.
There's a couple others.
She's kicking ass in those clips.
There's a couple others around.
But Incredibly Whatever just looks so.
Oh, I've just heard awful things about it.
Pretentious and.
Don't you hate those kind of movies?
Yes.
Ha.
Yes.
But what if you just enjoy it?
Not only the movies. Well, you know what? We're judging this without having seen it, so it's the fawning reviews for something that I perceive is just going to be just like disgustingly pretentious.
Fawning reviews before it comes out
about how awesome it's going to be. How about what an incredible cinema experience, Incredibly Close and Dangerously Far Off, whatever it's called, is. What's up for next week?
I can't find it on my phone.
Okay.
So it doesn't exist.
You can listen to all of our episodes online. We're at post-movie.net, and we're on Facebook. If you like us there, you'll get some links. We promise you links.
Hot links.
And we're on iTunes. If you can leave a review there, that would be great. We'd read it.
We'd post it. We'd talk about it.
Something like that. We really, I would like to work
naked.
People's, communicate. Other podcasts, they do like
let's reach into our mailbag,
machine
Steve.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they do that, but I guess at some point. We do have like a call-in thingamajig here that I bought, and I don't even know how to use yet. So at some point in the future,
I think other podcasts just make that shit up. Someone does a different voice. Oh,
they
Steve, on line 5.
They leave phone messages and play them back.
To themselves. It doesn't exist. It's all virtual.
If you have anything to say, if you want to join the conversation about any of the films we've talked about, send us an email. We're at contact@post-movie.net. Until next time, I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
So long, everybody. John, it looked like that cranberry juice was a bit tart.
It was.
You all right?
Yep.